you look around the league, there's a lot of teams, in the hunt. We're in the hunt. You sit here and you say, hey, Thanksgiving, and close to the end of November, and we're in the hunt. When you sit around that table tomorrow, you're saying we're in the hunt. And there's a lot of teams that wish they were in the hunt. Well, we're in the hunt.
You can start to see how a fan base becomes hated, because yesterday's game, it wasn't so much that the Bills won, it was how happy I was that the Dolphins and their stupid coach lost, and how I was thinking about how Dolphins fans are mad about like how Josh Allen is really good, and like it was just that frustrating feeling we used to get, and I'm mad that they're sad. I'm not happy that I'm happy. I'm more mad that Dolphins fans are sad today, and I don't care.
You don't like Mike McDaniel? I think he's a fresh
douchey. He just looks so douchey. He really does. Someone tweeted out like he looks like the kind of guy that would hit on me on Tinder and then like yell at me when I don't immediately respond. And that's so fucking perfect. You look, hey, what's up, hottie? Oh, fuck you, you stuck up bitch. Like if you don't answer the next day, he just seems like that guy. I hear good things about him. This is the In the Huntcast, by the way. I'm Greg Bauk. That was Kyle Turner. Dan Fisher's filling in for Sean Murphy. Say hi, Dan.
Hey guys, it's me, Dan from I'm filling in for Sean Murphy today.
Yeah. Dan from Bills Win fame.
Yeah.
Bills Win song.
That's right.
That's right. You usually don't hear him at the beginning of the cast. You do sometimes, but he's always at the end because the Bills
singer songwriter Dan Fisher here. And
I like Mike McDaniel.
I think I would like him if the NFL didn't jizz their pants over every fucking thing he does. They're like, look at him, he's eating a salad on the sideline. This is crazy. Like it's not, he's not doing anything crazy, and they can't get enough of him. I'm like, that's different. I mean, it's definitely better than I would. He's cooler than a lot of the coaches in the league, but it's also he's not that much cooler. It's like, relax, okay?
Yeah. Oh, no, but he looks like he runs a tech company, and he's like, you know what? Let's sit on beanbags for this meeting. I brought him some beanbags. We'll sit on there. I think that's going to get the thought process going.
He's like rolling around the floor while pitching. He's like, what if we put cameras in our shoes? He's rolling around like a kid. That's what I feel tech companies are.
Eating a salad on the sidelines is the most perfect thing. That I want to like end the podcast. I can see him eating like a fucking kale salad while deciding whether or not to challenge a play.
I like him. I like him. I think the reason I like him the most is he does try to be very funny in press conferences, but I just enjoy that his press conferences aren't coach talk. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that he's trying humor. That's like his open mic. He's like, here's where I get to be goofy in front of the nation. Totally. I go good because literally 31 other coaches are the most boring people that I've ever listened to talk.
I want to be walking to a Subway with him and he falls down the concrete stairs and he's really hurt, but I'm the only one around. So I can just linger for like 10 minutes and just, are you okay? Should I get help? And he's just in pain. Oh, come on, please help. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I want to see him in pain for some reason.
People in pain arouses me, so it's really not about him as a person as much as I just enjoy sexually that people get hurt. I was thinking about this Dolphins team. If they weren't the Dolphins, if they're any other team and they had that coach, and I mean, I like Tua. I think he's a good person. I just don't really like Christian Wilkins and Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill, it's because he beat up a pregnant woman and a child, but Christian Wilkins, he's grabbing his taints and stuff. But I wouldn't hate this team if it wasn't for their fan base. It's like when the Patriots were really good, they were Patriots fans were dickheads, but they were also winning Super Bowls. So it was like, okay, I have nothing to say back. I have Jets friends here, and they're very realistic about their team. They're always texting me, complimenting Josh Allen. The Dolphins have been as irrelevant as the Bills were for a long time. They got pretty good this year, and they're all just like walking around, fuck you, where the fuck it? And it's like, it's October. Give the season a few more weeks. So basically it's like all those other fan bases, like, I get it, they're at least somewhat respectful, but this fan base hasn't done anything. And it's just, Someone help me out here. I feel like Joe Biden
Yeah.
up here just ranting and raving.
You're exactly it.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
I feel this game showed more that I think the Dolphins are a good team. I think they're well coached, and their head coach is the funniest person in the world. And
Oh God, fucking Kyle's
I'm
a
kidding.
Dolphins
I'm
fan
joking.
now.
I'm joking. We did the first 5 minutes of this podcast was talking about their head coach, but this game showed more than any that they know Tua is not gonna be a top 5 quarterback. They went into this going, we're gonna run the ball and not give you too many throws. A lot of his throws were short. He had some deep balls in there, and obviously, but like that game just showed, like in the exact same elements, Josh Allen took over a game and Tua played within their game plan, and they know that. So it's just one of those days. I'm sure the Dolphins will continue to be a good team for, however long. And they'll probably beat the Bills sometimes like they did this year. Maybe they split, whatever. But like, it's just nothing's ever going to happen because they don't have a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Justin Herbert. They just don't have that guy.
Yes.
And they know it. And that's why they built that game plan.
That was a fun game. I wish I could have enjoyed it. Like, I wish I just could have watched that game as an NFL fan waiting for my team to play Sunday. It's like, oh, cool. There's going to be a game with some snow. There's no snow. I kind of like that. But that game was good. Like, there wasn't a ton of mistakes. The Bills made 2 big mistakes. The Dolphins, like, I need to think about it more. Maybe you notice something. They didn't really make mistakes. But yes, they're fucking good. Like that team. That wasn't like we beat ourselves. They had to
got really close.
Perfect to
that third quarter literally almost put the Bills away. They were so bad in the third quarter.
It's like, is Mitch Morse the most valuable player on the fucking Bills? Honest to God,
it does seem
without him.
This team is very terrifying, as we've seen. It's just like, well, one, the injury luck this season is out of control, or bad luck, I should say. But like, when one guy goes down, it does feel like everything changes. Like nothing's ever like one guy goes down and like, all right, defense still performed. It's like Tremaine Edmonds goes down. It's like, hey, you're never going to be able to tackle a running back ever again. Then he comes back and it's just like Von Miller's out. But it's just like, it always feels like one guy goes out, the wheels fall off.
The Bills are like handing a toddler a cup of juice and asking them to walk across the room with it. There's just like something, who's no ACL? Please don't get hurt.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because they were the least injured team or had great injury luck the last 5 years. So whoever's writing this season was like, oh, we forgot to include Bill's injuries the last few years. Let's kill everyone off. It's like the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I was thinking about last night too, just because, everyone's losing their minds. Twitter is just an absolute dumpster fire, and it's great and fun. And then when they win, everyone's like, oh, my mistake. I believed in them the whole time.
Oh, no, they don't say my mistake.
No, they don't.
They don't admit they were wrong.
Yeah, I just secretly delete all my negative tweets. And, see, I've always been a supporter. But
Dan was like, yeah, overthrow the Capitol. Oh, delete. It didn't work.
I'd love to say more about that, but I'm still in litigation for my role in but I feel like we were so used to the blowout Bills, like scoring tons of points, Josh Allen's 60-yard touchdowns, passes, like we're so used to them blowing teams out. The Rams, the Titans. It was a great year for that. But now I'm like, they're winning in the way that they weren't winning last year. And it's like, do you want the blowout team that also loses, can't win 1-score games? Or the league is so good now, maybe it's just best to have a bend but doesn't break team like this, like coming back.
I like this team better. Yeah,
I do too. That final drive is like, that's what you have to do. If you're gonna win games, you put the ball in your quarterback's hands and trust him to put you in a position to win. And he did that.
My favorite game this year was the Patriots game, where they did exactly what you're talking about. They didn't blow them out, but they were just playing with their food. They really just kept pushing. They did exactly what they needed to do. And it was almost like, okay, let's pretend this is a playoff game. Let's win it like that. And they did exactly what they needed to do.
Not flashy, but it also didn't feel like it was in doubt at any point. I never was really worried in that game. I think the Patriots scored first, and I was
Mm-hmm.
still just wasn't worried. And there were points when I was worried last night and then last week against the Jets too. I'm kind of like, it's tough. But then I always have to remind myself they're playing professional athletes. They're not playing loser teams anymore. They're playing good teams, and they're still beating them. And that's.
But you do feel, especially watching last night's game and the Jets game last week, where you're watching it, and again, this might be the homer biased in me, but I'm like, this game shouldn't be this close. I felt the Bills.
I didn't feel that last night at all.
I did. Well, not the first half. I was like, this game shouldn't be as close as it is. I feel like the Bills are just missing opportunities. And then the third quarter derailed them all. But like, again, I don't know. It was just one of those things where I'm all in total, though. This was the best the offense looked since Green Bay, I want to say, in terms of like even just efficiency moving the ball outside of that third quarter, but efficiency moving the ball. And like I've said this before, even in drives that don't end in touchdowns, but making it a 6, 7, 8, 9 play drive that stalls is okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay to be like, all right, well, it's not just like the Josh Allen, nothing on first down, 2nd and long, whatever, 3rd and 8. And you're like, Jesus Christ, can we get a 3rd and 3 around here? They ran into a lot of those last night, and they converted a lot of them.
Yeah.
Play of the game for me there were so many. If it wasn't the Gabe Davis 3rd down conversion on that last drive, which was just fucking huge, it was Bass kicking the game winner and then diving like Maxima Finneganov. Like that was just so like, because you're just so tense the whole time. And I don't know about you guys. Kyle, you were at the game. Dan, you were on TV. I couldn't see the field goal go through. And I think my brain shut off and I couldn't hear what happened. Maybe the announcers were late in saying it's through. But when he kicked the ball, some snow went by the camera and I thought it was wide left. Like I thought they didn't make it. So I thought the kick was no good. And I was like, And the first time I realized it was good is when they cut to Bass and like others like diving into the middle of the field. So I got to celebrate at that moment. That was my favorite moment.
It would have been funny if he actually did miss it. And the reason he was diving is because a crowd of people was attacking him.
He was trying to duck the snowballs. Yeah.
I think
the
boner play of the game for me would have been the Josh Allen like 40-yard run. I thought that was pretty fun to watch. Also terrifying.
Also planned run. Like the way they executed that, he was like, fuck you, get out of my way. It wasn't like scramble and then fuck you. He took the step back and then was just, man, he just looks like a fucking horse when he runs.
He does. Who's going to stop that? For me, the play of the game was the touchdown pass to Cook at the end of the first half. Like, that's becoming his new signature, which is like, you're watching it, and I would think almost every other quarterback in the league, except for him and Patrick Mahomes, are either not going to complete a pass or run out of bounds or get sacked or something. And he turns it into a touchdown. Nobody does that. And I was watching it. I'm sitting there with everybody, and he's rolling out. And this is why I hate myself. And I wake up in the middle of the night sweating and screaming. I forget that, and I'm like, I'm mad. I'm like, what is this play? What are they? And then he scored the touchdown. I'm like, I'm stupid. That's why I'm sitting here drunk watching, and he's out there being the god that he is.
Well, that moment, like you were thinking, at least get a field goal and you get the ball back. So that's where you were in the mindset. And then you knew time was running out. So you would be so mad because it's like, he's stupid. He's so fucking stupid. He's not good. He's just a big dumb idiot running around. Oh, touchdown.
Oh yeah, he's great. I know.
But there's been 3 plays like that I can think of. There was the Dawson Knox one where he threw it up. I think it was last season where he thought the game was over, but it ended up being a touchdown, or he thought the play was over and he threw it away, but not next. There was the one this year where he was out of bounds against the Patriots where he threw it across his body. And then this one, and you want to hate yourself. Wait till I say what I'm about to say. I'll hate myself even more. It's like what he's discovering with that sideline, running to the sideline. It's like when Neo and Morpheus are in the simulation where Neo's first learning that he can bend reality. Josh is now doing that with that sideline. He's like, this sideline doesn't exist. I can do anything I want. I can do anything physically impossible things with this sideline, and no one else can. And that's why I'm the one.
Yeah, there is no sideline.
There is no sideline.
We definitely have to
fucking fall. Now I hope that I fall down the stairs and Mike McDaniel watches me and he's like, hold on a second. And he's on his fucking BlackBerry. He still has a BlackBerry for some
Still
reason.
some-
He's like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Come on,
And
call
then
someone.
he's
Hold on.
quietly masturbating over you.
Well, that changed.
Yeah.
We do have to remember with that play, though, when it does happen and he throws an interception, we have to go, wait a minute. I've seen it work before, so I can't get super mad at that interception.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We have to keep ourselves grounded here because there'll be a time at the end of a half or a game where he's rolling out and you go, all we need is let's just get 3 points if it's not an easy touchdown. And he rolls out and that time ticks down and he throws it and it's incomplete and we lose out on points. And then we're like, what is this motherfucker doing? But we got to remember he's better than us at this game.
I don't even know why you had to bring up interceptions. It just, I was having a great time. We were all laughing.
Well, I have to keep us grounded. We can't be too good of a pot.
That is true. We don't have Sean here to be all rosy, so we have to. We're gonna run. Okay.
And by the way, I just want to say, women fans,
That's it. Get us those clicks.
Dan,
Dan.
it's too early to be drinking. It's 10 a.m. on a Sunday, for the love of God.
But I've been drinking the whole time.
I assume the answer is no, because Tua ends the day 17 of 30 for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. And a lot of even that came on a 60-yard bomb to Waddle.
This isn't a question yet.
Yeah, I know. Do we care at all that they gave up nearly 200 yards rushing, or do you think the Bills defense is generally so good and they've been extremely good against the run. Do we figure they were like, employ let them run it. We're going to wait for Tua's, weak arm to make a mistake. And he didn't. He did not throw interceptions, but he wasn't insanely effective.
No.
Maybe you bring out the personnel that makes them want to run. They definitely don't think, let's not tackle well. So
that is,
I do think
tackling is an issue.
I want to go into any football game, no matter who the opponent is. And if they're running, I want them to run. So I always want the other team to run rather than pass, because I think in this day and age, you need to fucking pass the ball to win a game. And Miami lost last night and they ran more. I think their quarterback has a lot more to do with that, because I don't think Tua is that good. So I was happy that they ran. I would like to see some guys get tackled.
It makes the game, obviously the Bills win the game, but it makes the game, especially a close game, a little more frustrating to watch. Where you're like, can you just stop them here Jesus Christ?
I agree. And I felt my frustration came from the previous 2 weeks when the Niners and the Chargers laid out the blueprint of how you stop this offense. And it felt like everybody in the world watched those games except for the Bills. It was just like, we all saw what happened those previous 2 weeks. Why are they not doing that? And what was that? What is it that they did? They took away the middle of the field and they made Tua throw the ball a lot. Like when he has to throw to the sidelines, he's nowhere near as accurate.
I wonder if it's because Miami ran more, though, that didn't happen.
But it wasn't that the game plan that was like, play the run and make him throw, something like that. And I just kind of felt like that would have been fun to see. And then I would have stopped sweating and picking at my nails and chewing
that offense, though, like the Bills tend to do this a lot, where and even against Minnesota, you give up a lot. And then when it gets in the red zone, you shut things down a little bit. I don't know what the stats are in the red zone defense. Someone's probably yelling at me because they know it off the top of their head. I do not, but especially against a team like Miami, every single week they score at least 1 or 2 60-yard touchdowns. Like Waddle and Hill are just going to score, or some other guy are just going to score a 60-yard touchdown. And they're just not as good in the red zone because you don't have that threat. So you can kind of limit that. And I think, 3 field goals, they held them to getting down there. That I think, the Bills defense just tends to be good at that, but that bend but not break.
I have a tweet of the game, and I think this is going to be a fun talking point here. And I want to see what it was like on TV, because I know it was like live. So this guy is tweet of the game is Gold Bar Cards at Gold Bar Cards. He said, Buffalo Bills scumbags throwing snowballs at the Dolphins players and dumping snow on them. Should be cameras set up to have these people immediately escorted out. I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of this. Okay. there were a lot of snowballs being thrown onto the field. I watched Dolphins players and coaches get nailed in the head the entire time. And I want to say, and I've said this multiple years in a row, if you threw a snowball yesterday in the stadium, I hope one of your pets dies this week. I literally hope you come home to a dead dog or cat, bird, ferret, something. I hope something horrible happens. I hope your family goes through something very hard this week. You're a piece of shit.
I was going to say I prefer not to see it, but
yeah, I'm very against it. It's just a scumbag thing to, especially like the people in the 300s. You're just hitting people in the 100s. You're just nailing people down there in the head, and that's not cool. That's just not cool. And again, like, I'm not saying, I'm very much, when the Bills scored a touchdown, people would throw snow in the air.
I like that. I
go, that's fun. That's fun. Or even, but like just pelting people with snowballs. I'm like, again, you're a fucking scumbag piece of shit. On the small other side, the Bills cleared off 0 snow from the stands. Every seat had a foot of snow on it. And I'm like, also, it's going to snow. Maybe for this game, you pick up a few more security guards, because they were really understaffed. Talk about defund the police. They're defunding security guards at Highmark over here.
Did they replace them with mental health?
Yeah.
That's the plan.
They gave them wooden guns. They're like, quit it.
Don't
Let's talk about your parents. Let's talk about your issues.
I mean, dude, thousands of snowballs are being thrown, I feel like, every quarter. And like, I didn't see anyone get escorted out. So I feel like you're putting a bunch of drunk people in a stadium with a bunch of snow and not enough security, and then being like, hey, can you stop? Like, literally, they were announcing, the refs, I don't know if they showed it on TV or heard it on TV. The refs at one point came out and said, if you keep throwing snowballs, on his little mic, he announces, he goes, if you keep throwing snowballs, we're going to give the Bills a 15-yard penalty.
We did hear that on the broadcast.
And then at one point, they're like, late in the game, they're chucking snowballs. The Bills are in the red zone, and Josh is looking at the crowd, like giving a please stop throwing snowballs. And the announcer for the stadium comes on and goes, please, fans, listen to Josh. Stop throwing snowballs. He's pleading. The announcer, you hear it in his voice, he's pleading with the fans to stop throwing snowballs.
I was waiting for some asshole from South Buffalo to cause the Bills to lose that game because of a 15-yard penalty that put
I wanted
the
it a
Dolphins
little
in field
bit.
goal range.
Just Steve Barton himself.
Yeah, right. Real quick, because I'm panicked that someone might think this. I do think mental health is important, and it's a very big issue in this country. And then I think more mental health counselors would be good. I just wanted to get that in because I kind of made light of that. I don't know that it would help in a snowball throwing situation at the stadium, but I just want to make.
I didn't know we were sponsored by CNN, Greg.
I felt like, what's going to stop a bunch of Dolphins fans from then throwing snowballs?
There were a lot. There were a lot of Dolphins fans. And so, yes, people were saying, like, how do we know it's not Dolphins fans? I go, well, it's still a lot of us. And I don't see any Bills players getting pelted. But the other thing is, I want to point out to Dolphins fans, because we have so many Dolphins fans listeners. If Miami got snow, you would throw snowballs at the opposing players.
Miami does have a lot of snow, Kyle.
Oh, got him.
Cocaine. Cowboys.
I don't know what you mean.
Sean,
don't edit out the sniffing. That was on purpose.
You would 100%, because that's, football fans are shitty, drunk people. That's just the nature of it. And I'm one of them, but I didn't throw a snowball. But yes, you are. You think you're in a stadium and you're watching gladiators kill each other, and you're just like, in Zen, man, you get these fucking morons who, you know what I mean? They just drank 100 Bud Lights and they're like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna fucking hit Josh or Mike McDaniel in the face. Either way, I'm saying Dolphins fans are also scumbags for different reasons.
I think
and they would throw snowballs if they could.
They would. But this fan base, the Bills mafia, as they say on TV, this is the fan base that's gonna go and support Tua's charity and famously supported Andy Dalton's charity and stuff. That's what they do. You're also gonna get hit in the neck with an ice ball. I mean, you take the good with the bad. It's just
the duality of man.
You never hear the other side of the story. You know what I mean? You don't see the beginning of the video.
And also, if this were Philadelphia, they would wrap a D battery in snow. So it could be worse.
Yeah, it could 100% be worse.
I'm glad you brought up the snowball thing, because I know your stance on it is famous within this podcast, and it definitely 100%. I was mad watching that happen. I was just waiting for it to cost them, and I was like, you got to be better than that. But I know that mob mentality kind of builds up. So if you're listening to this podcast and you threw a snowball, there's time to change.
Stop listening.
There's time to change.
Time to change. You'll have another opportunity. Think about what you're doing.
I felt like a real Karen. There were people around me throwing snowballs, and I wanted to get security. I wanted to be like, can we get them out of here, man?
Oh, don't do that, because people will be like, oh, I know you from the pod. We don't want to lose the listeners. If people are throwing, Kyle, you got to throw.
Somebody's like, I'm part of the Patreon, and you just kicked me out.
Just be like, no, I work at the Buffalo News. I don't know.
Okay, so we have hardly even touched on big plays of the game, but I can't think of any. So I guess we don't have to do that. The 2-point conversion after the Dawson Knox touchdown. The Dawson Knox touchdown, I was just watching a video of it. He does this look move in the other direction, just totally smokes his coverage. That was super cool. The fact that he caught the ball, because he had 2 really big drops in this game. It's hard to get mad at him because he was the best player other than Josh Allen on offense. But that touchdown was a huge redeemable moment for him. And the 2-point conversion was just fucking disgusting.
Dawson Knox somehow had one of his best games and still a bad game. He had 3 drops in that game. And you was like, God damn, man. How do you have a good and a bad game?
Did you know the 2-point conversion was good when it happened? I knew immediately it was good and all that shit that was happening afterwards. But we had the TV perspective, Dan and I did. I don't know if, Kyle, you had an idea in the stadium whether or not it was good or not, but
I don't even remember the 2-point conversion.
Busy throwing snowballs at Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot to say I was at the Sabres game. Yeah, I would love to see him used more like that. I know that everyone always does this when a tight end scores a touchdown in the red zone. They're like, you could be like Travis Kelce. And I'm not saying that he's as good as him, but it would just be so every time that he makes a nice catch in the end zone, I'm like, this is what he does. Use him this way more. And it feels like they got away from that for a while.
The offense looked completely different than it has looked yesterday. It looked more like it did in the beginning of the year. They put up obviously over 30 points, but just like I said before, the efficiency, they looked like they were getting going on the short routes and stuff. They did not. I would like to see a couple more deep shots that aren't Josh Allen just rolling off to the side and heaving it. I'd like to see a designed, this guy ran deep and I threw it to him. It seems like they've gotten away from that for a little bit, but I understand it's fucking cold.
Right.
And football's tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this game plan actually felt somewhat like the Rams game plan, like you were saying, short passes and then take the middle or the intermediate and long shots when you can, but those short passes set it up. And it felt like they, like you said, they weren't doing that for a while. And then last night they got back to it, and their first 2 touchdown drives were, like you were saying, so efficient, and it just felt really good. It felt like the offense that they were back early in this season.
They were going to score a touchdown on that last drive. I felt like it was going to happen, and I think if it had to happen, it would have. It seemed at that point that they were just playing with Miami. Kind of glad they didn't go for it. They had plenty of time. The attempted strike 2 digs that was tipped, on that second down, that that was them actually trying to score a touchdown instead of going for the field goal. And Singletary going down, obviously, they would have scored a touchdown because Miami was letting them do that. I kind of wanted that to be a touchdown. Like, I don't know. I know the math says that, but the fact that you had to like clear the field with your hands in order to make that field better for Bass. I was like, do you really think they're going to score a touchdown in this shit in 30 seconds with no timeouts?
Yeah.
But
it
I
becomes
guess,
like, of course, like I didn't feel like they would score a touchdown, but it's like, this has been a shit show and my heart can't take much more. So I was just thrilled to see that, just run out of there with the points and win the game like they did against the Ravens. Just get me out of this and let's look forward to next week.
To be very nitpicky, and I realize this is pretty dumb, I don't love that the Bills got a pass interference
for
to
them
seal the game.
Mhm.
I would have loved to have seen them move the ball down to there and get it on. And it's just like, especially like, it's just one of those things. I'm like, you threw that ball that was third down. That was 3rd and 10. You don't get that, or they don't get that pass interference. Like, it just felt like a real, like, well, this is it moment. Hopefully he either catches or get a pass interference. Like, not just like, I don't know. It just felt like like almost like a small give up of like, that's who you're going to right here. Like Isaiah McKenzie on a deep route where he's covered.
He wasn't covered though. That fucking guy grabbed him before the pass interference happened. He had him by the shoulder pads the entire time. They threw that flag just as the ball was leaving. And I think they gave him pass interference because he also interfered with him at the end of it. So McKenzie had him beat. He was grabbed. The ball's thrown. He was interfered with. It was like 2 penalties on one route.
So they did say that when they announced the penalty, they said pass interference, and then everyone was like cheering, and then he goes, there was also defensive holding.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never heard a ref just be like.
And I think McKenzie would have caught that. McKenzie, it was a well thrown ball, and McKenzie would have caught that if there was no pass interference. So
speaking of McKenzie, like, I really don't understand what a catch is anymore. I know that every single football person says that and they think they're being clever, but it's like, you see a guy catch a ball, both of his knees are down. They're sliding. He comes down, his elbow hits the ground. He comes down with his hand under the ball, turns a little bit, the ball moves, and they're like, well, that's not a catch. What the fuck does a person have to do to catch a football in America these days?
I don't know.
Greg, I'll go to you first.
It was the Ravens who, like, there was a play on, I think it was Andrews in the end zone, and like, he clearly caught the ball. He cradled it. He got 2 feet down. He sent the ball to college. It came back with a degree. It has a wife and 4 kids. He got to the ground. He laid down. He took a nap. He ate a salad. And then just as he was throwing his salad in the garbage, the ball moved just a little. And that wasn't that was the closest. Like, I totally disagreed with it, and I wanted the result to be that. And even I was like, that's a fucking catch. Like, he caught that ball. And it's like, since that happened, now all these balls that are being moved at like the end of the motion are being called non-catches. It's almost like that standard has been set for this season. So now those won't be. I don't fucking know. I don't think they can ever fix it. Because you're never going to make anyone happy. So
even a few weeks ago, Poyer 3 feet in.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it's like, why do you have to
2 feet and his big giant Poyer dong that he
Jesus.
So that's what he.
Well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes out of the middle of Jordan Poyer. His big Poyer dog.
What do you think the penis is? It's in the middle.
It is. It is in the middle.
Good. Yeah, no, I think it's in the
I guess
middle.
It's centrally located. It's not like it's
I have a
coming out of the
long
neck.
torso though, so I think mine's in the top of the bottom 1/3. You know what I mean?
I guess so. I guess like, because my head's up here, and I just feel like,
yeah, it's
my penis
eyesight
would be
stuff
down there if I had one.
Yeah. With one thing we didn't get a chance to.
We're talking about what's a catch.
Yes. Yeah. One thing we didn't get a chance to talk about this week, even though we should have done an emergency pod. Cole Beasley resigns, plays a little bit this game, has a couple catches. Very,
Did he?
Yeah, he had a couple. Trust me, I heard the boos in the crowd when he caught it.
Fucking libs.
He did have one catch. Did he have 2? Okay, I did not know he had one catch for 9 yards.
Oh.
And I thought my wife was like, "Why are they booing him?" And I was like, "They might be saying I don't even know." Like, you're there. Are they booing?
At this point, I boo because I feel like he wants it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes
I can
the
see
other
that.
people feel better
Yeah.
when they're like, "See, they are booing," and it's just me. And I'm like,
clearly
this
to
gives
Beasley,
you something to tweet about.
it clearly to Beasley doesn't matter. Like you can boo, you can do whatever you want. I guess you can throw snowballs. He's fine. He's here. Like, if it bothered him, he wouldn't have come back to the team. So he's fine.
I think 100% the team was missing him, and I think going down the stretch here, I think it's going to be very important, and I'm glad he's back.
I am too.
I'm glad he's not tweeting much anymore. But
I also think that
also don't believe 9/11 happened. I'm glad he's back too.
They were using 3D technology and missiles.
Sounds dangerous.
I think if I was talking about this the other day, if Cole Beasley, let's say like the Patriots had done this kind of thing, like Welker retired and then comes back in week 15 or 16, everyone would be like, "That's Belichick. He had this planned all along. They retire and come back."
Yeah, he wanted him healthy for the playoff run.
Exactly. Belichick's out here playing chess and we're playing check. Like, that's what they would say. But since it's not that time that everyone's just like, "Oh, it's just he came back because he still has some juice left." But I am also glad that he's back, and I just really want a third down threat again. I just feel like that's a major issue for some reason. They could be perfect on third downs, and I would still feel like they're not. I don't know why.
Something about it. Doesn't it?
I don't know what it is.
Do you guys want to do trivia? Do you want to go to trivia?
Yeah,
do you have more to say about the game?
You got a trivia question? This is where we admit to Sean that we did not think about trivia until
I have it. I have trivia.
You ready?
Kyle, you go first.
All right.
Did Tre White have a good game? Because I thought he had a good game, but then the Athletic thought he had a bad game, and I was all happy he had a good game, but I guess maybe he didn't.
So this is a yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a good game.
I don't know.
Dan,
I feel like whenever a cornerback doesn't have an interception, they have the worst game of their life. So I guess I'll change it to no.
Yeah. I thought, honestly, I thought he had a good game, but go ahead, Dan.
I did too. I felt like it was his first game this year since he's been back where he looked like his former self. He was knocking balls down. He was covering guys. I thought he looked good. I mean, there, a few times people got past you, but that's what happens when you cover the two fastest receivers in the league. And I thought he looked good.
I will be interested in like the all 22 breakdown Mr. Joe Biscaglia does to just see because you can't see it on television. But I was so excited in the beginning of the game because like if he is right, that helps out a lot because we're going to lose at least 4 more defenders to injury. So having him back will be nice. Yeah.
Also, I just want to say I felt like that Cam Lewis play is like
we didn't talk about the Cam Lewis play. That's the next trivia. I'm sorry. Do you agree that Cam Lewis should have roughed the punter? Dan, you go first.
I think he should not have. I would
have
loved for him to not do that. I feel like what he did, like you remember when you were a kid and like you were just fucking around in your parents' house and like you go to grab something and you knock like a super expensive vase or like an heirloom, like a ceramic heirloom, and it falls and you just catch it with your hand just before it hits the ground, like, and then your heart is pumping and your skin feels like it's getting electrocuted and you realize how close you were to fucking ruining everything for yourself. That's what that play was to me. He almost took the game out of the Bills' hands and lost it for them with that. The defense had looked phenomenal, gets a nice stop on 3rd and 10, then he goes and does that, but they still won. So that's how close.
That was such a bad, like running into the kicker. He wasn't even diving. No. He just ran head first into his dick. Like didn't put his hands up, nothing, just boom. Like he forgot he was there. And
this was not the time to create that decam.
No. And then he did the standard, well, now I'm hurt, so you can't yell at me.
Yeah. Oh, like, my arm is broken. Terrible. Yeah, that was brutal.
All right. Well, Dan wins trivia. Oh no, it's not over. Go.
Last trivia question. Do you have anything else to say about this game? before we talk about the next game against the Bears. Kyle, I'll start with you.
I wish they could have ran it better. And I'm Merry Christmas.
That's a
We
good
can
answer.
finally say it again.
Kyle's bringing it back.
Cole's back, and we can say Merry Christmas.
I guess we could say Happy Hanukkah. Didn't that start yesterday?
Yeah, Happy Hanukkah to all
Happy
of our,
Hanukkah.
Happy
to all of our
Hanukkah,
Jewish
Jews.
and the hunters. Happy Hanukkah.
Why does it feel like you're being like sort of fucking like kind of gross if you go Happy Hanukkah Jews? Like it's totally right. They celebrate Hanukkah, but it just feels wrong. I don't know.
I
why.
think that's fine. Don't say the Jews.
Okay.
That sounds like you're being an asshole. And
Well, then I have to return some shirts.
Oh, Kyle.
All right, Bears on Christmas.
Yeah. Kyle's going to provide
Bears
us
on
with
Christmas Eve. Right?
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Kyle's going to provide us with the keys to the game.
The key to the game, Justin Fields. He's having a tremendous second half of the year. He's running all over the place. He ain't throwing it. He's young. You know this? He's a young kid. So I think what you have to do.
He's not as young as Tremaine Edmonds, but he's young.
No. Tremaine Edmonds still lives at home.
Is he older than Tremaine Edmonds?
Probably.
I have no idea.
As far as like the way people talk about it, Tremaine Edmonds could be 16 years old. I have no idea. And
I have to see how old Justin Fields is. Anyways, the key to the game was to remind Justin Fields that Santa's not real. He's 23. Tremaine Edmonds might be younger than him. I don't know. I legit don't know.
If you're in the minivan with the family listening to the On the Huntcast and the kids are listening, we're just joking.
Oh, man.
Santa's fine. Don't worry, Kyle. They would have turned it off when we were talking about Jordan Poyer's dick.
Or turned it up. You don't know what kind of family.
Hey, kids, did you
They
know
gotta learn
that the dick's
sometime.
in the middle? Did you realize that?
I have a trivia question.
Ooh.
How old is Justin Fields?
I just got it. No.
Oh.
He's 23 for everyone. This is it. This is real trivia for the win. No, Dan, you go first. You're the guest. Name the Chicago Bears head coach, first and last name.
Hector J. Thibodeau Jr.
You might be close.
Hector J. I tried to search Bear coach real quick and a Bears coach, but I accidentally searched Bear coach and it came up with a bunch of coach bags and keychains shaped like bears. So I don't know the answer. Like I tried to panic do it because I think our podcast should know the Bears coach's name. I do not know.
I didn't know it until I looked it up just now.
I'm going to say Lovie Smith because I have no idea. I think he's coaching the Texans or something. I have no idea.
I want to say, I'm going to give the point to Dan because this name sounds like a name you would make up, Dan. His name is Matt Eberfluss. So I literally had no idea. I could name every other head coach right now. I had no idea this guy coached anywhere. I had no idea this was a real man. Matt Eberfluss.
Lovie Smith is coaching the Texans.
He is coaching the Texans, but this guy's name is Matt Eberfluss. That's a goofy last name. I don't know what that is, but yeah, interesting. Christmas Eve should be a fun one. How do you feel about it? Do you guys do Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Or are you both days people?
In what way? What do you mean?
We do our family party on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yes.
We kind of take Christmas Day off.
Yeah, we do. We kind of do both. So like Christmas Eve, we kind of will meet up with my dad's side. Christmas Day, we'll do my mom's side. Christmas Eve night, Christmas Day, just gonna drink. We just drink all the all the days.
But this has the Thanksgiving vibes where like everyone's going to be in the room and you got to listen to some dumb people's opinions about the game. You can't watch alone.
That's tough. Normally we do like Christmas Eve. My family might cobble something together because we got like out of town people. So it's all when they're in town. But like Christmas Eve would be my family. Christmas Day would be her family at her mom's house. We're going down to Florida this year. Spend time with my parents and it'll just be the four of us. So I'm actually like super excited. I get to just watch the game with me and my dad, and he'll just yell out stuff like, what was he thinking when they do something? That's the announcer's thing.
Yeah.
So my
Every
dad's
time-
like
every
awesome
time
to watch
they-
football with.
Every time they throw the ball and it's incomplete, he goes, they should have ran. Every time they run it, they go, he should have thrown.
Yeah, but he's totally kidding. Like my dad's the best to watch football game with. So
This makes me think about Matt Wayne. Matt Wayne had like this joke about how like when he'd watch with his dad always be like, how many footballs do you think they bring to this game? And Wayne would be like, I don't know, 20. And his dad's like, no, not 20. No. Like he doesn't, just a hypothetical question anyway. And then his dad disagrees with him. I just thought that was funny.
I want to know now. I want to know the answer to that.
Yeah,
How many
what is? I don't
footballs
know.
Do you think it's got to be 50?
It has
They'll
to.
throw it up in the stands. Like there's one right there. Like you can't run out of footballs. It's not like you can run to like Dick's and get the actual ones that they use in the NFL game. So that would be a fun halftime.
How
scramble.
many footballs can fit in a hockey bag? Because I think that's what it is.
30.
They
There you go.
explode as soon as they get in there. They know it's the one. So they.
I think, this upcoming game, Bears don't have a good defense. I think it's historically bad. I could be wrong on that. But so this has another get right game for the offense of like just looking great potential, which that's all I care about. Although Justin Fields really running the ball like a maniac these days, which is always terrifying. And it's the most frustrating way, which is why it's so fun to watch Josh Allen, where you just go, can someone just spy this guy? And that doesn't even matter.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
36 footballs. Sorry.
Oh,
That's how much they bring to a game or how many fit in a bag.
That's how many they bring to a game. That's how many footballs are there for the game.
36.
Yeah.
Good to know. I think that I read that if the Bills win next week, they clinch the division, and that's
They
that's
clinch the
exciting.
playoffs after this one for sure. And next week could be division.
Great. I want that home field.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think weather, Chicago, Christmas Eve, they want to be with their families. They miss Thanksgiving. They're missing Christmas. I think it's going to wear and tear, and I think it's going to be a close one, but I think the Bills lose 49-10. So
There's Kyle. There he is. We were waiting for him.
There he is.
No, they're gonna win this game. It's not. I said they'll beat the Dolphins by 2 touchdowns. I think that they'll beat the Bears comfortably by double digits. I'll say 10.5 points. No, 10 points. I think they'll beat the Bears by 10 points. I have no idea. I'm hoping weather is not a thing because that's scary.
What do we know the line?
it's got to be like 10.5.
It's gotta
I
be.
imagine.
Yeah. I hope Mitch Morse is okay. Like I was thinking for some reason in my mind, the Bengals was the next game because that was like the next big one. Because if you beat the Bengals, like you can start to get comfortably thinking about the number 1 seed. I can't even think about it until then. But I was thinking that was the next game, and Morris with concussion, like that's scary. I'm glad they have an extra day for his brain to get right because you got that 7-day protocol on that, so that helps. But I almost just fucking sit him against the Bears. We'll cobble something together. We'll win by 3.
I don't think
He's the most important player on the team. He fucking they suck without him.
Yeah.
They don't have an extra day, by the way. It's another Saturday game.
Kyle with his points. Would
I'm
you learn
just
that in
saying.
the Navy?
Oh,
Would you learn your
calendar
facts?
police over here.
Actually, 1 week.
Technically, it's not a full week because they play again on Saturday. What do you, Mike McDaniel? I really like him because he looks smart. And his press conference, he doesn't talk like a coach. He's just a regular guy out there eating a salad. And I like him. I like the Dolphins. I'm a Dolphins fan. I probably like the Dolphins more than I like the Bills.
You do sound like that, to be fair.
My favorite. Oh, I gotta get Kyle's one. That's probably my favorite coach of all time. As a Navy man, I like Mike McDaniel.
Because you guys have the same glasses.
They do have the same glasses.
Same glasses.
Exactly the same. They shop at the same Genius.
What's the score, Dan? What do you think? Who wins? Who loses?
I think Bills win 31-17.
Easy day for the Bills.
Easy. Josh
The
doesn't
thing
play
I
the-
like most about McDaniel is his smile. Lights up a room.
He looks like he smells good. I don't know.
I wonder what cologne he wears and how I can get it.
Well, Sean wanted me to mention that the next episode might be a little late because of Christmas, the holiday. I don't know what that means. Apparently, he's got a lot to do and can't edit a podcast in the morning.
Sure, he does.
I think that's fine. I don't think anyone
Dan, what are you
cares.
doing for Christmas? You coming home or you going?
We got to
somewhere?
end this podcast. It's been like,
No, dude. Now we're
50
just
minutes.
talking like friends.
So let's stop doing the podcast so I can leave and you two friends can talk.
I'll be in town the 22nd, so let's all hang out.
Aw, damn it. I'll be in Florida.
I have your coat. I wear it though. It is mine now.
Are there room for Dan's, are there room for Dan's arms in Buffalo? Because we have to clear some snow. Fit
I'm gonna
those
get
guns
out.
in.
I'm gonna leave the city. So
If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know. If you're listening, get to YouTube and make sure you get to the last 50 minutes of this
Yeah.
podcast because Dan's about to show you a good
Yeah.
time.
yeah, and if you
Magic Mike up in here.
Cam Lewis wouldn't be able to contain himself around Dan. He would jump right for the crowd. Even if it cost the Bills the game, he'd see those.
What if
arms
that's
and
how
be like,
Cam Lewis?
I gotta
tackles
get up
now?
on that. What's
What
that?
if Cam Lewis just head first in the guy's dicks? That's how he tackles from
That's
now on.
yeah.
Technique,
No
maybe.
hands at all. Just
Maybe
head
that's how he
first like
says
a
hi.
dog.
You know how dogs just go right in for your crotch. Maybe that's Cam Lewis just trying to say hi. Hey punter, what's
He's
new?
on the ground and Cam Lewis is smelling the punter's ass.
rubbing his head on him.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it then. I think I give this one a solid 8. This is an 8 pod.
Great. No Sean Hurts, but Dan came through in the clutch.
Yeah. Also,
We
no
lost
one's
Morris
yelling
to
at us
concussion.
yet
Yeah.
about pen clicking or cups being set down. So that was always fun. And we don't have a 10-minute conversation after about what the next thing we're going to do is. So we can just leave.
Sweet.
Let's
Sweet
get outta here.
everyone. Thanks
All
Dan
right.
for being on our podcast.
Thanks for having me, everybody.
Bye.
That was fun. You guys are fun. The Bills won.